distinguish between what it means to be a business owner and a technician. And I'm sorry, 95% of appraisers out there, and there's nothing wrong with this, unless you don't want it to be you anymore, are technicians. They're not business owners.
Originating from deep inside the Rocky Mountains, transported through the power of the internet, and arriving inside your tiny earbuds. It's the Appraiser Coach Podcast.
Minisode.
Welcome to the program, everybody. Dustin Harris hanging out in my Friday attire. Don't lambaste me. I'm not breaking my own rule. I have less to think about on Friday, so more time to pick my wardrobe. I want to pause and remind you that we're sponsored by a great company called Spark. Spark, of course, is helping appraisers to save time and money, something that the Appraiser Coach have been teaching you for many years, how to save time, how to save money, how to utilize technology in your own office. Check them out by going to spark4appraisers.com. Again, it's spark4appraisers.com. Welcome to the program, everybody. I wanted to take just a moment and empathize with those of you who are struggling. Okay, I spent 12 years in my business struggling, working far too many hours, 60, 70 hours a week, and for far too little pay. By the time I paid the tax man and the overhead and everything else that filtered through the business, though I may have been making $65,000, $70,000 a year, I truly was only bringing home $30,000, $40,000, maybe $50,000 a year on a good year. Now, even back then, that was not enough to thrive. It was enough to maybe survive, maybe pay the bills, barely, living in a small home and driving clunky cars and just trying to make it. There was a period of time, folks, that I would not park in front of the appraisal inspection that I was on. And I wouldn't do that because I drove a 1988 Toyota Camry that had been crushed in the back. And that was just, I mean, it was all intents and purposes, it was a POS. All right. I was embarrassed. Here I am, a quote unquote professional coming to your door, and this is what I'm driving. And it was all we could afford. There was a long period of time that I was working paycheck to paycheck. Now, many of you are not in that situation particularly, but you might relate with the fact that it is a struggle sometimes to work as much as we do to run our practices, our appraisal practices, and survive in this world of inflation and this world of high cost and high demand, and it can be a challenge. Now, some of you might be hopefully stepping back and saying, okay, well, Dustin, what can I do differently? What is it that I'm doing that I should change? What is it that I'm not doing that I should start doing, right? And I wanted to take just a quick mini-sode today to just share with you an important principle, okay? And that is this: it's not your fault. I'll tell you what I mean by that when I get back from the break, but I also want to tell you, if you're not using Spark right now, that's not your fault either. Maybe you haven't heard of it. Maybe you feel like it's too expensive. Maybe there's a number of different excuses. Folks, let me just dispel those right now. First of all, you can't say you haven't heard about it because you've heard about it here on the Appraiser Coach Podcast. Hi, here I am, Dustin Harris, the host, telling you need to jump into Spark. But folks, what about the cost, right? We're talking about saving money today. Well, it is a cost, right? There is a fee involved in signing up for a service like this. And you have to step back and ask yourself, what is the return on my investment? What is the ROI? And I can tell you from personal experience, folks, you will not be disappointed with the ROI because Spark saves you time on every single report. And we all know if you can save time, you can save money. Check it out by going to their website, Spark4, that's F-O-R, Spark4appraisers.com, Spark4appraisers.com. We are back My name is Dustin Harris. I'm the host of the Appraiser Coach podcast. Thank you for joining me, folks. I've been doing this coaching thing for quite a while. Since 2010 was the year that I began my coaching side of the business. And that was several years after I had cleaned up my act. That was several years after I had said, you know what, I'm tired of the status quo. I'm tired of doing the same things that I've always done and thus getting the same things that I've always gotten. Many appraisers are stepping back and asking themselves, with all the changes, all the modifications, all the differences in the world of appraisal moving forward, you have to step back at some point and ask yourself, is this still worth it? And by the way, I will tell you right up front, it is not for everyone. It is not, maybe it's not usual, not common, but it is not uncommon for me as a coach to say, you know what, maybe you should consider something else. Right? You don't have to do this thing called appraisal the rest of your life. That's not a requirement. You didn't sign up for this with a lifetime contract, right? And for some individuals, it may be time for them to move on. But for others, it's simply time to start making money, start being successful at something that they love doing. Many appraisers love being the technician. They love seeing homes. They love doing the comp selection and the adjustments. And though it comes with a bag of mixed goods, and some of them not so fun, right? The revision request and the low paying AMCs and the ups and downs in the market. Folks, I get it, right? I'm living that day to day myself, but they still want to do this, right? They still want to do appraisal, but they don't want to do it in the way that they've always done. And folks, I'm here to tell you that if you are not successful in your appraisal business, it is not your fault. And here's why. Folks, you were never taught to be a CEO of your company. We learn appraisal through our mentors. Yes, our classes teach us a little bit, but let's face it, we learn boots on the ground practicing appraisal. We learn watching our mentors. We learn holding the dumb end of the tape. We learn driving comps. We learn by shadowing the individual that has taken us under his or her wing and taught us these things about appraisal. But how many of you have ever been taught to be a business owner? I'm guessing very few of you, and here's why. It's not just that your mentor is unwilling to teach you how to be a business owner, though there is that as well. It's because they are not a business owner themselves. Now, follow me, right? You've heard me on this program in the past distinguish between what it means to be a business owner and a technician. And I'm sorry, 95% of appraisers out there, and there's nothing wrong with this, unless you don't want it to be you anymore, are technicians. They're not business owners. You were never taught to be a business owner. You were never taught to be a CEO. I can help you with that. That's what I do. As the appraiser coach, that is what I do. I teach appraisers how to be business owners, which are going to allow them to have more time, which allows them to have more money, which allows them to have more of a lifestyle that will sustain them long term. Thank you for joining me today, folks. It has been a pleasure. Speaking, by the way, of getting better, I do offer private personal coaching. Right now, we have what we call a 6-pack. Okay, so 6 45-minute sessions with the coach on your time schedule, right? You meet when you want to meet. I have a Calendly link. You can jump on it. You can get on anytime you want. 6 sessions for a huge discount. Check it out at my website, theappraisercoach.com.
You've been listening to the Appraiser Coach podcast with Dustin Harris. If you like what you hear, please give us a 5-star rating and post a short review on iTunes. For more in-depth insider information on how you can make more money as a real estate appraiser, visit theappraisercoach.com and sign up for the All-Star team today. Thanks for joining us. And now, get out there and create some value.